Good evening, San Diego. I'm Logan Burns.
And I'm Teresa Sardina. Thank you for joining us.
So new developments for you tonight in the efforts to move the train tracks off the coast of Del Mar. Earlier today, the board members of SANDAG did not choose one particular favorite.
Instead, 5 different options will be studied and go through environmental impact reports, which will take years. And our KUSI's Dan Plante has been following this. He attended the meeting this morning and joins us live from downtown with the very latest. Good evening, Dan.
Hello there. Good evening on this Friday night. And yeah, the meeting was held in the building behind me down here at 4th and B. It's the old Wells Fargo building. It's still Wells Fargo. And that's where SANDAG meets. All of the members, they had a big presentation this morning on the 5 different options, and they voted to go forward on all 5 options. At least study them and do environmental impact reports on them. And as you said, it's going to be a while. Between 3 and 5 years, they're expecting for just the environmental impact reports. And after that, who knows what's going to happen. But yes, today, earlier, this is what happened inside the meeting at SANDAG.
By a show of hands, would any board member vote today to run freight trains under the homes and heart of their city? Let the record show that no one raised their hand.
After years of talking about it, fighting about it, and studying it, the board members of SANDAG are finally getting close to doing something about it. Almost everyone agrees the train tracks need to move off the coast of Del Mar, but it appears that almost everyone has a different opinion on the best way to do that.
SANDAG came in with a tunnel workshop on day 1. Why would SANDAG automatically propose an idea that will likely harm communities? It's the same concept as the OME toll. SANDAG should not be trying to minimize negative effects. It should be avoiding negative effects.
In this area, it doesn't really matter which way you go. There will be negative impacts to the communities involved, with 3 of the possible locations going into tunnels under the city of Del Mar.
I ask you to put yourself in the shoes of the coastal communities, to the individuals now and in the future that will be profoundly impacted and affected by the decisions being made today and the alignments ultimately chosen. What would you want for yourselves and your communities that you represent? Please, please.
Aside from the 3 tunnels, there's another plan to keep the tracks where they are, and yet another to double track in this very same location, something the Coastal Commission has already denied.
Do not approve of double tracking the bluff, the green line. Not only will this take down several homes along the bluff that are within the right-of-way, but an environmental study of the double track of the bluff was already done and shut down 18 years ago due to the required major construction, seawalls, and drastic changes to existing environment.
With such a major decision that could impact the city of Del Mar for the next century, the representative for the city of Del Mar has decided to abstain from voting on this one until there's an actual environmental impact report.
As such, for the city to select or influence any particular route before the draft environmental impact report is released could unduly prejudice our role as a responsible agency. It is the city's intent to keep all of its options open to preserve any challenges we may later wish to make in protecting the city's interest. Accordingly, on behalf of Del Mar, I will be abstaining from voting on this matter, and thus I will not be present for this discussion.
All righty, back out here live in front of the Wells Fargo building. And after that, Terry Gasterlin did walk out of that meeting, and she did not vote as promised. And by the way, Terry Gasterlin is going to be on your show coming up in about 25 minutes, where she'll expound on this and give you more details on her thinking behind abstaining behind this. But yeah, so that's basically what's going on. They're going to look at 5 different options. All of them will be studied. All of them will have workshops around the community, public input, all kinds of things. There's several years to be able to chime in on this if you haven't chimed in on it already. But certainly this is an extremely complicated engineering feat to try to move these tracks off the coast of Del Mar, off the coast over by Solana Beach, and inland along the I-5, which is the preferred route for a lot of people. It's a big job. And it's going to take a lot of study and a lot of environmental impact reports. By the way, millions and millions of dollars, of course, just for the impact reports themselves, and billions of dollars for the actual project. So that's where it stands right now. More studies, environmental impact reports, but it has been launched. It is out there. and things are now moving forward. Terry Gasterlin, of course, will have more for you coming up at about 6:30. We're downtown, you guys. Throw it back to you.
All right, Dan, thank you so much. Great reporting tonight. Yes, and I will be speaking to Deputy Mayor Terry Gasterlin in about 15 minutes.